and gentlemen, brothers and sisters,
This is a journey into sound.
The fattest, funkiest tunes in town.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Good morning. Welcome, friends. My name is Elaine Adams, aka Stock Mom, and you know what time it is. It's time for the Stockhouse U Premarket Show. What do? We go over the futures, we go over indices, ETFs, individual stocks, news, trades both good and bad, and trade psychology. Everybody is welcome on this stage at any skill level with any type of question. If you want to be a part of it, please raise your hand. If you enjoy this room, please ping people into it. Let's make this a whole thing. You know that we don't give out financial advice here, but we just want to share how things are looking to us and why we're doing what we do. I'm joined by some of my favorite people. Liv, Christopher, Vanessa, AR, Rev. Good morning. Usually we like to start things off with a quote, and I'll give everybody a chance to just introduce themselves and do a quote if they feel like it. Today, I have a quote, and hold on. That quote is actually from one of my favorite people, Rev, in his profile. You're the quote of the day, Rev. So congratulations. Thanks for coming up and joining me. It says that studies show 42% of parents who say they love their kids are lying. No, it's a good one, right? So I'm going to use this as a metaphor for rebalancing stock portfolios and how we think about things. I know that there's a bias towards stocks that have made you money. I love stocks that have made me money. And I struggle with stocks that haven't. The truth is, I don't like all of these stocks the same level, and I'm kind of constantly readjusting and trying to make that thing work. So I don't know, maybe I missed the mark there. But when I say I'm trying to be objective about things, it is a struggle because there is a difference between the experience that I've had with one stock or another. And so I actually really appreciate sometimes the discourse we get to have where there's something that I'm particularly bullish on that other people don't think so, or vice versa. Because the truth is, they're not all the same. I don't want to treat them equal. I do want to go where the money resides, and I don't need to hold on to stocks that aren't doing what they need to be doing for me. So that's kind of how I look at it. And there we go. There's the quote. Liv, good morning. Do you have a quote for us today?
Good morning. I do. Mine is by Joachim Noah. It's important to have a balance, spend time in nature, go to a few parties, enjoy my friends, and really chill out. So except for go to a few parties, I really support this quote because after today, once you're done trading, just give it a rest. Don't tomorrow look at futures, or well, not tomorrow, Sunday, but just relax over the weekend, free your mind so you can come back and trade healthily on Monday. I think that's a very important part of trader psychology, to know when to stop.
I haven't stopped yet. Christopher, good morning.
Good morning. And I'm going to take something out of my previous mentor's collection today as far as a quote. I'm just looking at the market right now, and there's a lot of things going on, in particular fear. But where a lot of people see fear, I see opportunity. And so I want to relate it to one of my favorite mentors. His name is Shaw King. Sometimes he even comes in here and listens. So shout out to Shaw if you're listening to this. The quote is going to be, opportunities of a lifetime have to be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity.
That's kind of deep. What's your take from that? Are you saying that we need to go ahead and hop on these things when we see them? No fear?
Yeah, it's just like if you see something at a low and you've been watching it for a while and it's lower, especially if it's starting to break support from, 2, 3, 4 months, that's an opportunity of a lifetime. And so I'm ready to jump in on the lifetime of the opportunity, which, is going to be sometime, maybe today, sometime within the next week for certain. I'm ready to make some moves. I actually been building a cash position over the past week just because of what I was expecting to happen today. And I'm ready to go.
Interesting. I like it. Good morning, Vanessa.
Good morning, everyone. My quote, it's not so much of a quote, but a bit of a freestyle. And not a freestyle like that, but basically just it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to admit that you're wrong sometimes. And the reason I say that is I think that sometimes people try to go so far to prove they're right when it would just be easier to admit that you're wrong. And Elaine always says, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? So it's okay to admit that you're wrong sometimes.
I love it. Good morning, Kareen. It's always nice to have you join us. Oh, it's okay. I'm just letting everybody get a chance to say hi, and we'll come back to you. Good morning, Shubham. How are you feeling?
Good morning, Elaine. Feeling good. I had a nice quote in the morning I read somewhere. Do all the good you can by all the means you can and all the ways you can for all the people you can as long as ever you can. Maybe I'm quoting it wrong, but it was so beautiful. I loved it.
I kind of like it. What's your take on that?
My take is from yesterday, right? Like just trying to make sure that we continue doing what we are doing irrespective of that 1% or 2% of miscreants.
Wow. Okay. I appreciate that, man. Good morning, AR. It's always nice to have you on the stage.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I have an interesting quote. Actually, it's very fitting at this time. It's from Hebrews 10:35, the amplified version. Do not therefore fling away your confidence, for it has a glorious and great reward.
Wow. Are we taking stock advice from the Bible now? Because that might have worked.
Hey,
it might have hit.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is richest man ever to live, right? Solomon, right? Kind of yeah. I think he was he had his own little section in the Bible there, right? So history does repeat itself. There's always been supply and demand, through all civilization. So this here should be no different. Let's not get caught up in the majors, right? Let's find our spots, find our entries,
and play them.
Yeah, realign our strategies. That's all.
No, I feel it. Good morning, Reverend.
Good morning, y'all. As you can see, I do some quirky stuff in my profile, so I usually put up like some random quotes or words in there. But when I was younger, my mom used to ask me, "Would you jump off a cliff if your friend did it?" And I always used to think like, no. But now my answer is yes, right? Because of the different variables, different factors. Hey, what if you had a parachute? What if you know what's at the bottom? What if it's a small cliff, right? Don't be scared to take that jump. If you know the research, if you've done your due diligence, if you see a point, jump, do it, get in. Like, that's how you'll learn. That's how you get the experience. So don't be scared. Go ahead and jump off that cliff.
I love it. Marcus, good morning.
We should add a
morning.
disclaimer to that. Not
Uh,
legal advice
Yeah,
or
not,
health advice.
not
Yeah.
giving
no,
it.
no,
Please don't
like,
do that at home.
but wait, Liv, we do give advice, just not financial. Jump off the cliff. I'm no, fair enough. I'm just kidding. God, please. Sorry, Marcus. Good morning. I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, it's fine. That was good follow. Actually, I have a Charlie Munger quote, and I know you would like
Yes,
this. Yeah. But
Munger.
this stuck with me though. No wise pilot, no matter how great his talent and experience, fails to use this checklist. And I think that's a reminder for me too. Is even if you feel that something is really good, go back to your checklist of why you like that stock. Top down DD, just looking at just some basic fundamentals as well as technicals. So that was just a good reminder for me with Charlie Munger.
I love that. I kind of like, I'm a day trader, so it's not as though I'm sitting here deeply entrenched in Munger or, Buffett or any of these kind of long-term value people, but I really enjoy the value ideology. And I still think a lot of this stuff is relevant no matter what you're doing. So there you go. I mean, I don't need to repeat you, but I really feel it. So thanks, Marcus. Hey, Carrington. Good morning, man. Welcome to the stage.
Good morning, y'all. I know Chris had pinged me up earlier, but I was in the middle of something. But yeah, I'm always here for y'all discussions. So good morning, everybody, and look forward to hearing what y'all got to say. We doing quotes, right? We're doing quotes,
Yeah,
right?
if you want to, you can drop something.
I guess
You know,
somebody else mentioned the Bible. One of my favorite quotes is "A fool and his money shall soon be parted." I think that's in Psalms. But I guess just a reminder to do some research, your due diligence, and just be mindful of what you're getting into today.
yeah, I totally feel that. A fool and his money are soon parted, or that one, like the stock market is just transfer of money from the inpatient to the patient. It all just lines up. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's talk about some dev futures already, man. So I'm so excited. History. The thing about charts and trading in general is that there's patterns, right? Like there's something that we have to go off of. And as a technical trader, one of the things that I use is the repetition of certain patterns. Now, patterns tend to repeat themselves, but they do not necessarily have to. And let's get into this. So the last time we were down here at this 12,800 region, and we had kind of taken a similar thing. So on February 25th, we had a high day that started near 13,000. We came all the way down to 12,700. And then we had this kind of little doji of a day where we bounced around at 12,800. We kind of hit a high at 13,000 again, went to the low of 12,700 and held. We then came back up to the high and then broke that support coming down and floated down near 12,300. And this was that March 4th kind of larger pullback where people were, starting to look to the downside and talk about the market crash and the fear. And I felt that too, I don't know. I actually listened to our shows and it is insane because of the volatility, right? We have to have these different takes on a daily basis. But on Monday, I'm pretty sure I came in here and was like, I'm not convinced anything is going up. If we hold over 13,000, maybe. But right now, I don't give a fuck. And then on Tuesday, it held over 13,000. So I was like, I'm pretty bullish. I'm looking to the upside. And then, it's so on a daily basis, it's sort of been recalibrating the feelings about how I feel. And they have been very wide swings. I don't think that irony is lost on me either. And so here we are again near this 12,600, 12,700 level. We're sitting right on top of the 100-day moving average, which has been used as a support historically. However, if we break through this, I'll be looking to the downside again. And when I think about the news and catalysts and things that are going on, I know that there is some level of market exuberance. However, rising bond yields, threat of a lockdown, it just and also kind of beef between China and the U.S., Biden's tax plans and all the things that are going on there. I don't know. I could definitely be looking to the downside if we break this level. So on actionable items for me, and we can talk about the Qs later, but at least just on the NASDAQ futures, if we're not holding over this 12,600 level, I'm going to be looking to the downside. And the next level that we came down was 12,300, right? For a lot of people, that was a fairly large pullback, especially from, the highs that we were at 13,000 level. So I'm prepared for that. I don't know if it is going to happen, but it's something that I'm looking for. And on the upside, once again, if we do break our 13,000 level and hold above that, that's something that I could be really interested in too. Another thing that we've seen is the interaction between the 50-day moving average and our Nasdaq levels. And the 50-day moving average has acted like a little bit of a resistance point. So I'd love to see us break over that, which is sitting like directly at 13,100. Yeah, and then I'll just quickly do the other ones. So S&P 500, the ES futures, a little bit of a different level. We were at all-time highs shortly 2 days ago. 2 days ago, we were sitting at all-time highs. So it's definitely not a bear market, right? But we took a rejection, and that's something that I expect every time we hit all-time highs as well, especially if we don't have major news keeping us up. So we were at the 3,970 level. We got pushed right back down, and the range that we've been trading into on the S&P 500 is, at least for me on my chart, it's between 3,800 and 3,900. And this is just rough numbers, but that's sort of what I'm looking at now. We've broken below that. We've bounced above it, but we've stayed primarily inside of this range since, since February 4th. And this is sort of what I'm expecting the return to. Now we could, if we fall below this 3,800 level, we could definitely see a next leg down at 3,700. But we'll talk about that when we get there. I'm not trying to spread market doom or be the harbinger of negativity. I just try to stick to actionable levels. And then last but not least, the Russell, our small cap stocks, has kind of had a similar thing. It's if you look at the charts, they're fairly similar. We bounced up against all-time highs at 2,300, and here we are once again back inside of that range. So yesterday we closed at 2,261. We're sitting right now at 2,269. Not much of a change, and we've been trading between 2,200 and 2,300 there since February 4th. The same thing as the S&P, right? So there's some patterns that have been forming, specifically with the S&P and Russell, that we're looking to kind of get back to. Whereas the Nasdaq, the place that I've seen, whenever we do have market fears, whenever people do get scared, I feel like the high growth tech stocks are a lot of times the first ones to really take a little bit of a beating. And we're at a fairly crucial point. So that's what I'm going to be kind of watching out for during the day to day. Anybody have anything they want to throw in on that? And if not, we're going to let Chris do crude oil futures today.
Yeah, I'm ready. But I'm getting conflicting results just between the two apps that I'm looking at. So right now I'm looking at the fact that we're at this 59.25 level, which is below the low that we had, which was 59.40 back on February. And so it's not looking good, right? And so actually the low that I'm looking at now, where I'm actually finding that we might even be good, it's 57.75, and that's if it breaks below this 59 number, and it is falling drastically right now. Of course, we got to remember that we're up over, almost 100% over the last year, right? And so that's an extremely high move and not normal for oil. Also, yesterday it was proved that we were down. Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me just make sure. 7.6%, and so we're falling down another 1.2% today, meaning we have no signs of support at this point. Of course, there's lockdowns going on right now, and so people aren't going to be driving. So that takes away some of it. Travel restrictions are going to be back in place, and so oil is going to start dropping significantly. The way I'm looking at it now, like I said, we could, if we drop below this 59 range, we could be dropping all the way back down to the December lows of 57.75. Yeah, that's what I see. You want me to move over to metals? Because as we can see, people are really starting to hedge and looking at gold. That is the only thing that's up. Yesterday we played silver and it was beautiful, right? But today, just looking at them, everything's kind of in chop city. Wait, let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, gold is the only thing that is simply moving up, and I think people are starting to hedge over in that area. Will we break into a new high? I doubt it. I really want to wait for more confirmation once we get to open.
Yeah, totally. I mean, looking at the gold chart, it's like gold has been in a bear market. Gold has been kind of having a fairly consistent storyline, and I think part of that really, like, as much as I'm not the biggest Bitcoin person with the laser eyes, like Bitcoin is taking over as an asset, as a store of value. And so I think that's had a fairly direct correlation to the price of gold, kind of taking that sort of pullback. With that said, no, I think you have a great take. Specifically on the oil side, man, I think the story of supply and demand is so crucial to understanding where those stocks are. And it's not like the price of crude oil. A lot of those companies have said that they only needed crude oil to be at $45 a barrel, or 33, some of them, to be profitable, right? So the companies are profitable. But the reason why we see these prices spike and go down is because of a supply and demand relationship. And we know that OPEC has already said they weren't going to continue drilling, right? But with that said, 80% of the oil rigs, the refineries, have been active since shutting down in COVID, right? So we've seen a huge growth of companies kind of coming back online. And meanwhile, we're seeing these demand issues where countries aren't reopening. We aren't seeing the travel. We're still looking at international business flights, not being what they were. Oh man, excuse me. So following this price of crude oil is really an interesting story. I know so many of us kind of hopped into cyclical trades and have been enjoying that, but it's a cyclical trade, and there's a range. So we need to find that range, and hopefully we will find it around the $50 level. At least anything over 45, I'll be okay. So with that said, it's Friday. What do we do on Fridays?
You lit?
Eat, sleep,
It's Freedom
rave.
Friday.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep.
No, we do trash trades some days. We do treat yourself on other days. I think I'm going to go with treat yourself today.
That's a good idea. Let's do that today.
All right. So on alternating days, we do trash trades. I want to hear about the garbage trades. How did it go wrong and how can we fix it? But today's a Friday. So you know what? We're getting ready for the weekend. I think Liv had a really good, moment of saying, take a second and relax. So if anybody wants to offer, I'd love to know what you're going to do to kind of take your mind off stuff. And if you have any like fun things planned off of winnings that you've made for the weekend.
Can I start? I know me and Carrington and Alec, who's not here right now, have been talking about how we were going to be brunch buddies. And they've been showing out as of lately. So today I am going to brunch at Barney's. I have taken a half day at work. I kind of just need to get my mind right. Just moved. My body hurts. I just don't feel like, and the market's looking like it's looking like I'm not feeling it today. I'm taking care of myself today. You guys will see the receipts on all social media platforms. Like, I'm going out. I'm not trading. I'm chilling. Although, if I see some lows, I'm jumping into some leaps. Like, please, Quad Witch, and give me something.
Thank
Anyway,
you. That's it right
yeah,
there.
but as far as like trading, trying to make profit, like today's not the day for that. Today is the day to reposition for me.
Hey, I love it. Go ahead and share those Barney's pictures. Anybody else? I kind of saw a bunch of mics go off, but I didn't catch it all at the same time.
I'm gonna just say I'm right there with you. I'm looking to see what I can really get into for some 2023 leaps. That's really it. And Chris, you already know brunch is always the move. So yeah, we're gonna show some receipts tomorrow and Sunday.
Brunch is the move, boys. Whenever I'm in your city, I'm stopping in. Hey, Daya. Good morning.
Hi, happy Friday. Yeah, it is a happy Friday for
Hey,
me.
Daya.
Hi. Kind of winding down my work week. It's been crazy. But the silver lining in it all is I don't do option leaps, but I'm leaping in my living room looking at FedEx.
Oh, yeah. We like that earnings report, huh?
Oh my gosh, you don't understand. It's been such an emotional roller coaster with this stock. I bought it back a couple months ago, and it's just been trading in a range up and down. And every time I feel like it's going to break out, it just sinks. And watching the earnings, I was literally leaping around in my living room. I was so 20 billion, like, really? Okay. We all know we see FedEx trucks everywhere, and there's no reason for that stock to just kind of just sit there. But boy, is it paying me big today. So I'm holding it. I'm not going to sell it because honestly, I feel like it's going to 300 pretty soon. So that's my Friday.
Deep. What are you going to do to celebrate? How are you going to lock in that happiness? You're not locking in profits, but I need you to lock in that happiness.
I haven't even thought about it. I'm just trying to make it through. And that was the silver lining, because I'm not even going to talk about my retirement portfolio with all this crud, but it's okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
I'd love to hear. I guess I might read the earnings call transcript. I really want to know how they're talking about that TNT acquisition. I feel like that has to have a big thing to do with a positive price reaction. Neither here nor there, but that's one of the things I've kind of been trying to figure out with FedEx. They recently acquired a company. Well, they've acquired it a few years ago at this point, and they've been kind of dealing with how to incorporate that, and that's had a large effect on how their earnings and EPS and revenue has been.
Right.
So
I didn't see anything so far in what I've read about that. I just know that they are killing it. They are killing it. Their profits were like 20 billion over what was projected.
that's beautiful. Yeah, apparently they're talking a lot about the COVID vaccine rollout. Okay, we can stay here, but also I kind of want to keep on moving. Anybody else? How are you guys going to take care of yourselves for the weekend?
I'm going to get it's a couple's manicure, pedicure, and massage. And then
Oh, we need to see some receipts somewhere.
Yeah, this man is not going to be. He's not staying single. You're trying to stay in a relationship. I see you.
Facts.
Okay. Well, with that said, let's kind of move on. Oh, let me see. Let's see if I balance the songs right this time for the whole refresh. All right.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first place every morning you should stop to get your stock market news. That's right. I'm talking about the morning show presented by Stockhouse University. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. This is a conversation amongst friends that love talking about stocks and want to improve our profitability by coming here every day, talking about the market, relevant news, and how we're going to use that information to be profitable. We think education should be accessible and affordable to everyone, so we have a free Discord that has tons of resources and over 1,800 amazing members at all different skill levels that are also talking about the market, and they're trying to grow as well. We also do free classes on Sundays, and we would love it if you would join that community and contribute, because together we are so much more powerful than we are individually. Invite your friends, invite your family. Let's all create opportunities for generational wealth.
S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, where all the old money stashed at. Bet you ain't no square on Cash App. Stock, name an asset that could match.
All right. Who wants to talk about SPY? It's SPY time. Let's get into it.
Sure, I want to talk about it. So currently, the 9 a.m. just opened. I'm assuming Robinhood, and as we can see, SPY is currently at 389.97, fluctuating between 390. My entry point today, especially with my sentiment, is that it's going to be bearish. I do expect a little bit of a push this morning into the 393 range, and if it can't break past that, then I'm going to look for an entry down at 390 until, however far we see. I will put a safe exit at 385 if it does reach that level. But on the flip side, if it does somehow break past 393, then I would enter for a call. Not a call. I would enter for 395, and I would keep it at 397 for an exit, because I'm a little hesitant that we're going to reach our all-time high again very soon. I feel like we may trade sideways for a little bit.
Interesting. I let you know that I bought puts at the end of the day yesterday. Oh, for real? See, me and you, AR, same page. I felt that. No, and this, it wasn't, did I hop into a steep position? No, this was a little bit more speculative, but I definitely bought puts at the end of the day. And so I know I talk about things, but I'll be like so I talk about high base candle patterns and I talk about low base ones. And I would consider this a low base consolidation right now. And what does that mean? Well, we have taken a kind of a pullback, right? From yesterday, we were at 395 at one point. We took, 2-hour-long candles to get us down to this 391, 390 level. And here we kind of sit. We see the price sort of start to consolidate near this low. And so this is not, whatever science, but a lot of times when we have these low base consolidations, it's getting ready for a break downwards. And so I'm sort of looking for that downwards action. Even if it doesn't happen, that's just what I'm expecting currently. And so I'll go the other direction and say that I'm already in the puts. And if we continue to break down, I'm looking for 383 personally. That would be the number I'm trying to see. And on the other side, if we even hold over 391, 392, I could obviously sell out of that position fairly quickly and start looking for upside. But I've been very consistent about this 391 to 394 level being my intermediate. And if holding over 394, 394.76, whichever you want to call it, I'm looking to the upside. And as we're under 391 and sitting at 389, well, right now 390, I'm still looking to the downside, specifically taking into account all the news. Now go ahead, AR.
You're right on it. You are right on point. Based off of what we've been speculating on the entire week, right? This thing really hasn't moved, right? It's still been in between this wonderful range with the peak being at the 398 level. And like we talked about yesterday, 391 had the potential of being visited, and it did. We opened up pre-market. We're a little bit under that. I still have 391.27, basically being a potential pivot. If it pops over it, great. I really feel that there's a lot of overhead resistance now. So that 391 support, right now we're going to hopefully confirm that it's a resistance sometime today. So that's my strategy. I've been in a vertical spread, and I'm probably going to look to add to my position if it pops over the 391.
I deeply agree with you. Hey, I know you always look at VIX. Do you see anything on the volatility side, AR?
Yes. So on the VIX, conversely, on the VXX, the support line that we talked about yesterday was 1266. Going into the close yesterday, that line did hold at the 1266. We're currently at 1303, and my hypothesis right now is this 1266 is a, I guess, short-term bottom at the moment, and we have the potential of reaching up to 1462 going into next week sometime. So, that's basically it. We're at the bottom. We're overextended, specifically like on our 4-hour and our daily from the 50 EMA on the VXX daily. The 50 EMA on the 50 daily, 50 EMA daily, and my 4-hour chart. We're both overextended. So price would typically like to revisit at minimum that 50 EMA. So I think over the next week to 2 weeks, it's going to figure out a way to do that. So so I'm biased to the short.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely wondering how, we've seen a lot of the GameStop action, a lot of the meme stock action really affect our volatility. And then, I don't know, quad witching is something to consider, or we're going to have a lot of selling and buying potentially. I don't know. We have to see how the fear side of the market is going to react. I know the greed is out there. I know people want to hop into things and buy the dip and hop into leap options. So we'll see how that actually pans out. But I too am actually watching volatility. And volatility was the move yesterday. It was this probably the safest, most like logical play, especially when we had that end of the day kind of pickup. That would have been the place where I could have stayed. With that said, just looking at the cues real quick, and then we'll talk about news. So I kind of have the same storyline that I've been looking at for the cues, where I really wanted to see us hold above that 317 level, and this would have said so much for tech, right? We kind of are seeing a lot of failed breakouts. We've one, two times in the past, let's see here. Just in this month alone, we've kind of been rejected from this 317 level and not been able to hold it as a support. And it's starting to turn into a little bit of resistance. The volatility is high, so we're sort of all over the charts. And tech is the place where the volatility will continue to be high as people are like just trying to buy the bottom. It is sort of crazy how tech is the type of people that are just jumping in to every piece of tech. And yeah, you're seeing the most volatility, in my opinion, in that sector because of it. So if we can indeed hold over this 317 level, I would really be excited to step into some of our more large cap tech plays. What's going on with Apple, Lord only knows, right? What's going on with, NVIDIA or AMD, Lord only knows, to be honest. However, right now we're sitting at 310. We closed yesterday at 312. We're still sitting at 312. And we are starting to form a little bit of a support at this 310 level. So I would love to see that happen. Although we are, let's see here, I'm on an hourly chart. On a daily chart, yeah, we're kind of resting right above our 100-day moving average. So I could also see it really come down to 308, at least, and test this moving average to see if we're really going to sit there. I don't know if I expect a huge sell-off in tech today, but we could see. With that said, I kind of want to move on to the news if you guys are cool, unless anybody wants to throw in something about, any of the other sector ETFs or something.
No, just the Qs. I had a target of 307 for next week. Yeah. So yeah, again, you're right on point with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hate this. not. It's just technicals. That's what we're purely talking about.
Right.
I'm not even looking at the emotion of the market. I'm not following any news. I'm just talking about what the charts are saying. So that's all. So you're right.
I appreciate that. We had like a behind the scenes meeting, and I was like, you guys, like, I want this to feel more like a conversation. They're like, well, like, you pretty much said it. And that's what makes it difficult. And so it's like this way, I kind of want to start actually just letting other people sort of have the conversation, because it is just technicals. And a lot of the times we do agree, on just the technical side of it. Now, the emotions, that's where the split can happen.
Yeah. Can I just second or third the fact that I think this is going to be like a big consolidation area in the SPY? Just wanted to put that out there. We established a uptrend and last week, and yesterday you see that big candle just kind of sitting there, and it looks there's nothing underneath it. But because it did establish a uptrend, it does look it does look like we're going to go into a range expansion, which is going to want to push back to that high. So we're in like a middle ground, kind of no man's land. This is going to be a weird, in my opinion, weird market. But sorry, I wanted to just go back to that.
No, it's a valid point. And that increased volatility kind of affects all of us on both sides, whether you're playing the up, if you're long or short. It's just like the increased volatility makes it really hard to find places inside of these plays, or get that solid entry for the bottom or the top. Okay, with that said, let's move on. I'd love to talk about some news. What's everybody thinking about? I mean, honestly, how could you not be thinking about lockdowns, right? Like, is that like not the number one thing on everybody's list right now? Seeing Paris go back into lockdown, the second largest economy in the Eurozone, hearing about Germany as well. I'm extremely concerned. And this is like, that question of how do you know that the dip's done dipping? I think that this would be a fairly large one. I don't know. Does anybody have any opinions on this, or kind of have been following this as well? I'd love it if somebody had a medical opinion to tell me that this new virus thing is completely irrelevant and the market's going to the moon.
I don't have like any broad base. Or Marcus, are you in the field? I mean, I generally speaking, when you have a virus or when you have a vaccination, there are typically boosters that are supposed to follow that, right? Typically with the flu virus, and the only reason the virus mutates is because it's reached a point at which you cannot, uh, reproduce or take over the cells. So it mutates in order um, to bring itself up to par. So you have to continuously get booster shots, i.e., e.g. your flu vaccination. So we don't know. We're still too early to see, even if we need a booster shot. But we've talked about the variants increasing, the more lethal variants of the virus being seen in countries that don't have access to medications and immunizations, things like that. And by the time they get there, who knows? Is it too late? I don't know, but there's definitely some caution in the market because of science, because of biology, because of just life. But yeah, this is relevant when I'm talking.
So I've got a few things I wanted to go over, and I know we're short on time, so I'll just be quick about it. As far as lockdowns, right? So here's the thing. Also, the German health minister was talking about how there wasn't enough vaccine to stop the third wave. So that's huge, and I'm super bearish. In addition, because of that, did want to say that your precious Ford did get a price target upgrade to $16. Also, Fisker, right? That's my baby. They basically announced cashless redemption of public warrants, and they're up this morning. So we're happy about that. But not and only are we talking about like the virus, right? But this whole thing between Biden and Putin, like where's this going? And it's not good for the market. And I honestly just want him to leave it alone. Um, for right now, because I mean this is playing a huge part into the downside. And honestly, like I said, I don't want to trade anything, but if I were to trade anything, I want to follow the new traders because I think they're gonna like stupidly put their money in things that don't make sense, and I'm just gonna make money off of it anyway. So AMC, all that stuff, like it can squeeze again. I've been calling that out for a little while. Like Bitcoin plays, those might see some running. Like I don't know. There's way too much going on for us to just be looking at this like normal.
And isn't there a bill which was also put forth or is being put forth in Congress about a transaction tax on every financial transaction or something?
First time I'm hearing about that.
Yeah,
So I think
No, that's a real thing. Go ahead,
it's
Shimon. It's a real thing.
so. Apparently, there's a financial transaction tax which some of the House Congress people are planning on bringing to the table or bringing to the platform, whatever it's called. I'm sorry, um, which is basically like, for example, if you buy or sell a stock, that's also a transaction, right? That's a financial transaction you're taking care of. So there has to be a tax even on that. And that is something which retail investors were not that much happy about. I have not looked into much details of it, but by the general sentiment which I'm looking into, this is something which is definitely a worrisome sign because if you sell maybe one stock and if it's even 0.10001%, it's still something which you'll be owing collectively to the government for some weird reason. I don't know. It's gonna pass. I'm pretty sure it won't pass, but these kind of news are, they all compoundly screw the market for the day.
No, it's terrible. And this is the thing that I was worried about. Everybody was so excited. GameStop, we're gonna beat the hedge funds. Like, you guys, this will kill me.
Exactly.
This will ruin me. Like somebody like me who's just a day trader. Oh God, was my worst fear. So the transaction tax is 0.1% on every single sale of a stock, bond, or derivative, specifically meant to stop people from speculatively trading.
Now imagine that,
Wow.
0.1%. Man, I like that's why I was so adamant from the day one, as Elaine said, right? You you know the equilibrium, you try to screw the equilibrium sometimes. I know, the world is not justified all the time, but bro, it hurts, man. It's gonna hurt. This 0.1%, if it finds some kind of lags on this news, it's people will have some kind of emotions and they will start selling the stuff thinking, oh, tomorrow the transaction tax is coming, which is not the case, but that's how people react.
Hey,
Yeah.
Shivam, I don't know. Would you guys be interested in doing a Stock People Talk Politics room today? Because I have a lot of complaints about the Biden administration. All right, I'll consider it. Like I would.
I'm
Yeah.
up for it. I'm fine with it, man. I don't
Yeah,
care.
I was staying in the audience because I didn't, I know that this is a limited time, but I'm definitely in there if y'all do that later today.
I'm
Because
down.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm like this whole downtrend or sideways trend is because of like uncertainty and what's going on. I mean, like we almost took our we like oh here's some new like here's what I'm gathering from the news like we could have definitely took ourselves out with that whole pandemic, man. Like airborne, you want to hear signs, an airborne virus that attacks your lungs, like a lung or a heart type of virus. I mean, you got 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and I mean, not to be too bearish about this, but that's true. We like it could have got really bad. I'm sure everybody here at some point was looking at this thing like this could be it. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's I mean the big thing of what the theme of what I'm seeing is like big power in small hands. You know what I'm saying? Uh, if he's arguing with Putin again, like come on, man. Like this. I mean, this can get bad, ugly.
Yeah,
Ugly quick.
media's getting into it too much. They're talking about like Cold War II. Like what?
Well, I mean, the
Are you serious?
cybersecurity threats are worth considering. Like, like that's the thing as we move into a primarily tech world and we're trying to get into IoT and everything's connected. And then you hear
I
about
completely
Microsoft
agree.
hacks. Like
I
that
completely
is
agree.
a
But
national
you
threat at this
are
point.
right. But you are beating a horse which is like already beaten. Russia is
Yeah,
like
we understand
there's
how
no
you feel.
comparison anymore, right? Like 70% of Bitcoin is mined in China. Imagine they decide to screw you, right? On
Well,
cybersecurity and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, everyone. I love
we are excited.
we should save this for the afternoon. I want to
All
talk
right,
about it.
we're
We
talking
should
this
save this.
afternoon. We'll see you
Okay,
guys later.
I'll make the meeting. Okay, with that said, I guess let's go to watch
Watch
list
list.
or what are you guys thinking about for the day for sure? I'm not ready. I'll go second. Liv, what are you looking at for the day?
I'm looking at SPY, Disney, and Apple to get good positions, and that's it.
Wow, I love that. Christopher, what are you looking at for the day? Oh, you told us, but you can go ahead and say it again.
Long-term positions in Fisker, Palantir. Yeah, anything else I can possibly take position in.
Interesting. Carrington, what are you looking at for the day? You buying dips, bro?
Sorry. So yeah, definitely Palantir is on the list, but I think I want it to come down a little bit farther. Um, I'm always looking at my semiconductors. Just we had that news about Google and Apple, them trying to make their own chips. Look, I'm kind of laughing at that because I'm just like, I don't think you guys can do it, but whatever. Um, what else am I looking at? Always my ARC funds, looking, seeing what they're doing. In phase is also on my radar too. So that's really it. Just keeping it simple. I really don't trust this day. I really think that it could go either way. So I'm
Yeah.
really just chilling.
No, I feel that. I mean, I'm trying to think about my watch list and instead of what I'm looking at, and I'll kind of catch it further on into the market.
Oh
but
no!
to be
Real
honest,
quick,
go for it, Chris.
Tesla
Yes.
got banned. Oh my God!
Yes.
How do we not talk about that?
That's
Yeah,
Tesla
I
cars
was
I
got
just
wanted to
banned
talk
in
about that.
China.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so
Oh
sorry, y'all.
yes.
No,
What the
no,
hell?
they did not
Why the
Fully.
get banned
hell?
in China.
Oh
They got
no!
banned in portions of China. Don't
Yes.
be extra hype,
Oh my
Chris.
god.
No, I know
I'm
it's just the
sorry. I'm
military
super
base.
hyped, Shango.
Y'all
It's
up
the
there at
military
extra hype.
base.
That's very clickbaity, yo. Hold on. They got
It's the
banned from
military bases.
military complexes and
Yeah,
home
look at that.
and home
Yeah.
Hold on.
complexes.
One mic. Let's let Shango talk.
they got banned from military complexes, and I mean this is a little bit larger. It says home complexes, so I got to do some more research. But military, that's a given. It makes sense. If I was long-term investor, I'd be like, okay, all right, cool. There's still a lot of China to go around. The home complex is interesting, and needs a little bit more research. So I don't think it's as huge as Tesla gets banned from China. That's my piece on it.
Real quick, before
So
anybody talks, I would like to hear from Fahim, who is our resident Tesla complete bull. Fahim, do you have an opinion on this? He's probably asleep. All right, Shivam, you can go.
Yeah, so I read this in the morning. After that, I was reading a couple of articles, and they say that the footage, which all the cameras except the dash cam, which Tesla has, they automatically get deleted within an hour or something. And the only footage which is left on the system is that 10 minute of extra time on the dash cam in case of any accident or something, right? So that is my only point here. I think it is one of those news again, which will be, it's going to find legs. For example, Jay Powell says, hey, bro, everything is fine, and we still get screwed because people want to screw. Congress is passing something for semiconductors. They want semiconductor STEMIs. Technically, in layman's term, they want semiconductors to have, get some more semiconductors, make the availability, make the supply right there, and nothing moves. But then 1.1% transaction comes, everything drops. So it's like one of those news that the market sentiment currently is kind of screwing Tesla anyways. So let's just go with it. They're gonna make Tesla drop another 20 points.
Hey, and then on top of that, I mean, I'm feeling real good about my SPY puts right now. Tesla's a huge part of that. This is gonna be
You're
just
welcome.
fine, boys.
Oh my gosh, let's get it.
So with that,
385.
let's real quick, let's keep a short list. But Shivam, what are you looking at for the day, man, and how are you feeling?
So I'm looking at three things. I have my pen stocks sitting for a long time. If they go on a run, I might trim down my position. That is one. But what I'm gonna add is, as to Liv's point, I'm going for Disney, I'm going for Apple, and third name which I'm going for is my long-term energy ETF, just because Biden Putin thing might warm up or something, might do something for me for OPEC. So I'll just go for it.
It is interesting. Yeah, the dance between the OPEC and oil energy versus renewables. I don't know. I have opinions about that too, to be honest. Okay, with that said, I want to do a little bit of a flash round because I want to let everybody talk, but also we're fairly close to time. So, Rel, what are you looking at for the day?
Hey, man, just I'm not going to cap right now, but I'm feeling under prepared for today. I purchased some. I bought some dip buys yesterday when the market fell pretty hard, so I'm just going to watch those, see if those pop. And for the rest of the day, I'm just going to chill out and watch the market, see what it does.
Awesome. AR, what are you looking at for the day?
Yeah, I'm just adding. Well, basically, I've been moving profits into ETHE. That's that Grayscale Ethereum play. Outside of that, man, I'm for the most part, I'm just staying cash. That's it.
Rev, what are you looking at for the day? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I have just my eye on Schwab, looking to just get some more. It's a few limit prices around 63 to 64. Then Eaton Corporation as well. I'm also just thinking about a short call on Schwab if it goes down enough.
I love that. Marcus, what are you looking at for the day? Oh man, I wanted to hear you. You're like our resident medical, our vaccine's gonna work expert.
I was going to elaborate, but I said, nah, I don't want it for the show. Take the time out of it. I mean, if you want me to, I know we only have 3 minutes. I can do it later, but I just want to, to go into detail. I think whoever made a comment about boosters, one of my doctors actually, Dr. Raj Kumar made a comment yesterday about it on Twitter. And he basically affirmed that by getting the vaccine and getting the boosters, if there are boosters required, that will help in the future with other variants. And that is keep it simple. But there's more detail, but that's just a simple.
Thank you for that. Is there anything that's on your watch list for today then?
No, man. After my UVXY fumble and trying to scalp, I'm just going to sit on my hands for today.
Happens. Daya, anything else you're looking at for the day? I know we're doing backflips over FedEx right now, and I felt that. in my heart, I felt that.
Oh, thank you. I'm not really looking at anything else right now. I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I'm gonna, what I'm, how the market's gonna go today. I have a lot of red positions, so I'm not. My hands are tied.
You're not alone.
Can I make one last request, Elaine, if you're
No, go for it. Of course.
Does anyone has any kind of spreadsheet available? I had it 2 quarters back, not since last 2 quarters, on what kind of rebalancing we are looking into SPX today? Like which stock is above that 1% threshold in the SPX? Anyone has that kind of spreadsheet available so that we'll get an idea of how the day will go? Because
No.
today is the last day, right? For SPX roll?
Yeah, you're right. No, nothing updated.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody so much. If anybody else doesn't have anything, like any last minute tips, stocks that you're thinking about, I'll just go straight into the affirmations. You know, one thing that is going to change, and Liv suggested this, and I'm kind of into it. I wonder how everybody else feels, is that we start 5 minutes earlier and end 5 minutes earlier. Because it's, you know, the whole point of ending at the hour or at the 30-minute is to have time to trade. But realistically, it would be even better to end 5 minutes before so we could really be ready to trade. So, okay, I'm seeing some blinkies. I think that's what we're going to do starting next week. So expect us to start 5 minutes earlier than an hour before the market opens. And with that said, let's do some affirmations. Biden cannot stop these gains. Janet Yellen will not stop these gains. Market pullbacks will not stop these gains. Fear of missing out will not stop these gains. Greed will not stop these gains. You know what? Let me start giving thanks. I'm thankful for my community. Everybody on stage and in the audience, really honestly, I appreciate you. I'm thankful for these conversations. I'm grateful that you all choose to come here fairly consistently. Now, I know that means something. So here's what we deserve. We deserve to be successful. We deserve to be happy. We deserve everything that we want from this market and from this economic situation. I'm happy for the opportunity to be in the market and to make generational wealth for not only myself, but the people that are around me. Everybody, let's have a great, amazing day. Let's wait for confirmation. Let's make sure the dip's done dipping. Let's maximize on this quad witching. This is Stockhouse U, and we are out.
Have a good one, everyone.
Have a good one.
All right, y'all. Thanks for coming.